What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, and this is our weekly Forex forecast and analysis for the week ahead. That is December the 23rd to the 27th. Before we get to the charts, and we'll get to the charts in just a moment, and I'm going to give you an overview of what is going on, I want to be really clear with you. This is really important. Pay attention. Listen, I'm not here to offer you advice, or rather to tell you what to do. I'm here to share with you what works for me and help you develop as a trader. You have to discern what is going on around you. When you look at the markets, you have to know, is it a trending day? Is it a range-bound day? Is the market choppy, right? You have to know what time frame to be focused in on depending on what conditions you have to deal with. You also have to be aware of what's going on. This is a holiday week. December 24th, Tuesday, is Christmas Eve. December the 25th is Christmas. This is not a time that you want to be trading. My 19 years of trading have taught me this is the best week of the year to stay away, and it's really important for you as a trader as well to develop. Listen, the markets are always going to be there. You don't always need to be trading them. This is a week you should really highly consider avoiding. Go ahead and work on some other stuff. Either just take that complete break from the markets and give yourself that breath. Come back refreshed. Come back ready to attack. Come back ready to make money. Go ahead and work on your knowledge. Go ahead and read some books. The Market Wizard books are phenomenal. Remnants of a Stock Operator is phenomenal. There are so many books you could read about trading that's going to help you. Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. There are a plethora of different books you could be taking a look at right now, or you could just be focused on family and friends and just enjoying life. Listen, the markets are always going to be there. All right, let's take a look at what else is going on right now. We're going to take a look at the charts just to give you an overview. The next time I'm obviously not trading this week. What I'm going to be doing, what you can expect from me on Friday the 27th, on that morning, I will go ahead and I will prepare about a 20-30 minute upload doing a review of the market to check in and see what's going on. And the same thing on the 30th and the 31st, and again on Thursday the 2nd and Friday the 3rd. The reason I'm going to be doing that is so that I get back in the flow of the market myself. I'm not going to be trading those days because I know it's smarter not to, but I'm going to be following the flow of the market. That way, when I'm ready to start trading again on Monday, January the 6th, I'm going to be ready and prepared. All right, let's take a look at what's going on today. Just to give ourselves a fresh review. We're going to start off with the DXY because I think that's the important place to focus on. Let's start on the daily time frame as we always do. All right, and here's what we're looking at, right? This is pretty clear to all of us. Again, the most helpful thing that you can do is always be looking to buy off support and sell off resistance. You have to know which way the trend is. Is the trend up? Okay, I'm looking to buy off support. Is the trend down? Okay, I'm looking to sell off resistance. All right, here, what are we looking at on the DXY? We've been kind of in this channel over here. Some people are calling it a bull flag. Whatever the case may be, you could see this channel with the lower highs and the lower lows. Okay, right now we're coming back up towards this resistance on the DXY. Okay, expect for this to hold. This is resistance. You expect if price gets caught up in it and starts reversing that this resistance is held. If it breaks out over here, you'll know. Okay, you have to get above this trend line. If this affects all dollar pairs, specifically the euro, the yen, and the pound, which are the most heavily weighted. With the euro the most heavily weighted, be aware of the dollar index. Okay, we're coming up into this resistance here. We'll follow it next Friday. We'll see what's going on. This is just an overview. All right, let's take a look at gold here. And this is we're going to be looking only at the daily today. Going into next week, we're focused on not trading. We just want to have the flow of the market, get that top-down picture, get that top perspective picture, take a step back, see what's going on. Here we're looking at gold, and gold you can see also is within and right in the center of this channel it's trading within. This to me looks like it's a bear flag. I expect it's going to break down. I don't know. I'm going to wait to see which way it breaks down. Right now, it's kind of caught at light resistance. I don't really pay any mind. Up here, I'm focused. If price gets up along here, along this upper trend line, and towards this resistance right here, that's a good place to look to lean into sell and come back down. Okay? If we break down out of this channel, I think we're going to get some forward momentum and could drop a bit. Adversely, if we get above 1494, around this area over here, this resistance, at that point, I'm going to be looking to lean long. All right. So right now, you're in no man's land. You're in the dead center of this channel. Stay on the sidelines. Wait for something to develop, because something is developing here. Okay. Because as price consolidates, it tends to then break out. Watch what's going on. We'll stay with it. Next, we're looking here at the Euro US dollar. We're looking at the daily. We could see last week that it went up and tested this resistance up here. This resistance held. Never go ahead and play the breakout, okay? Always wait to see where you get the close on the daily. You got a lot of traders caught going long all the way up here. This wicked all the way down, okay? Came back up, tested the resistance again. Once this trend line broke, we came down, tested the next closest support. This support is since broken. It is now the resistance we're looking for. Price leveled out along this support on Friday, all right? What I'm waiting to do now is I'm watching the support and I'm waiting to see what price does next. Is it going to stabilize over here and break down further? If it does break down past this support, I think we're going to have some forward momentum that may come down and test this support down here. Okay, that would mean that the DXY has probably broken out of that channel that we looked at earlier. What I'm looking to happen is for this support to hold, price come up and test this broken support, which should now hold as resistance. That's a place to look to lean in short. If we get a successful test of this resistance, that's a place to look to lean on. But we'll see what happens. We'll check in again on Friday and we'll see what's developing. All right, now we're taking a look at the pound US dollar. Hey, listen. Avoid markets that are volatile and have a lot of uncertainty. Trade where there's clarity, all right? I would try to take about 3 trades a week. That's how I pick the best setups I could find. I'm really choosy about them. I'm really picky. I look to buy off of strong support and sell off of strong resistance. This is a pretty uncertain, volatile market. It's really tied to what's going on as far as the UK politics and as far as getting out of the EU. Look, is there money to be made? Yeah, there's money to be made, but there's also a lot of money to be lost. Stay away of uncertain markets. What does look like it's happening here, though, you have to watch. You're at an area of support. You have this trend line coming up here. It's light. It's not such heavy support, but it is there. And then you have this support here. Price is hanging out right around it. All right, watch what's going to happen. If you get down into this support and off of this trend line support, that looks like a solid area to maybe lean against and buy off of. Until this breaks, though, I'm assuming it's going to hold. We'll see. If it does break down, if this breaks down into here, I have a feeling we're going to come down and test these stronger lines of support. All right. Again, avoid markets that are volatile. Avoid markets with uncertainty. Go where there's clarity. You'll have a much higher percentage of win rate, much higher probability trades, and much higher P&L. Your account's going to thank you for it. I do want to look at the Australian dollar US dollar here because this is pretty important for the intermediate longer term. You could see this breakout that has occurred of this year-long trend line. You could see then price has come up, broken out of it, came into this resistance area up here, came all the way back down, and then after coming down has tested successfully of the breakout of this trend line and is now coming back up to take another look up here at that resistance. Let's put this resistance up around here and just be aware. We're looking at a time. It looks like right now we're seeing the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, lots of strength in these pairs as we're seeing a turning point, as we're seeing this risk on environment really take foot and hold on. We're seeing weaker yen. I expect into 2020 that this is what's going to continue. Again, we'll be looking at things on a weekly basis, and when it's time to change our outlook, we'll change it. But right now, that's the way that I'm leaning. Let's also then look at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen right now. All right, here we are on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, and you can see here also we are breaking out. We have broken out of this year-long trend line. Not only that, we came up, tested that resistance up here, came back down, tested this broken resistance, which is held as support. See that strong support? Those are the type of places you want to lean off of. All right, and now price is coming back up, and it's currently right here where my mouse is. You could see it's got some light resistance. Again, this looks good longer term. You have to be aware of the trend. You just broke out of a year-long trend line. Do not be looking to sell against the trend. Be looking to buy off of support with the trend and sell off of the resistance on downtrends. All right, so just be aware. This looks pretty bullish. If you get above this resistance up here, take a step back. If you get above where my mouse is right there, around 76.35, look, it looks pretty. There's not much up in the way until you get all the way up there, about 450 pips higher. You know, between 400 and 500 pips higher. So be aware of what happens over here on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. We'll take a look at this coming into the next year in 2020. And this might be a pair that you might want to get a position trade on. If you could turn a swing trade into a position trade, and meaning you go into the trade with your normal risk to reward. If you get stopped out, you're stopped out. It's a normal swing trade. But instead of having your take profits on, you see if it breaks through this resistance over here, or if you break through this resistance and then get a test of that as support and get in, and you could get a trade on here, this becomes a position trade. Always be aware of those. A few of those a year can make the difference in your account enormously. I'm having a good time here. I want to continue with you. I want to look at a few more charts. This is the US dollar, Canadian dollar, and this is in a pretty strong and long downtrend. You could see it pretty clearly stepping back and looking here. It looked like we might have the potential to break out over here, but this held, and since then, the Canadian dollar has been pretty strong. Again, that's something that I expect to continue in this current market environment. If you get a chance to look back up or along here, you have pretty strong support off this trend line, and this resistance, you have pretty strong resistance here on this trend line and this resistance line here. So any movement back up into this pocket, really look to sell off of. As far as that, we're just giving the markets and ourselves some breathing room next week. We'll take a look as we get closer to January 6th, where we really want to focus our attention and what's setting up. Right now, we just want to be aware of the overall trends and just take a fresh look so that we stay following the flow of the market. It's a lot easier going in when it's time to trade if you really are warmed up and you have this really like I said, if you have your finger on the pulse of the market. It's so much easier to trade than going in there cold and trying to place a trade that doesn't work out. This is what works. This is why I do it and share it with you. All right, let's focus here on the US dollar, Japanese yen. And you know what? I think there's not too much going on here. I think that this pair, most of last week, was in a very narrow range, pretty sideways. I think it's best to stand aside when there's no clarity. There are so many opportunities elsewhere, and I really think that you need to learn the skill set of being able to spot where the opportunities are, following pairs that are strong, right? Playing against pairs that are weak. When they really come to strong positions, when you're near buying off of a strong support, selling off a strong resistance, this pair is not offering an edge either way, and that's really good to be able to acknowledge. But right now, we're just going to wait to see what develops. There's nothing here going on the US dollar, Japanese yen that gives us any type of edge. Let's take a moment here to focus in on crude. And crude has been, ever since it leaned off the trend line over here at around 58, 80, $59, it's really been in a strong uptrend. I think this is reflective of what we're seeing as far as risk on environment, which is pretty positive for oil. It looks like this might continue. If you get below this trend line, all right, then be cautious. This support around 58.37 should be pretty strong and hold. You get below there, and then you really want to start worrying. But right now, as you're above this trend line, things are looking bullish. If you look here, you could see that price it's holding this right here was support, and then it held as resistance. This was resistance. I think right now price broke out above that and is testing that pretty successfully. We'll see what happens. If you get a bounce off of this area, that's a good opportunity to look at a long trade because your risk is well defined. Below the trend line, you step back out of the trade, and above it, I think you have some room to roam up here. I think we should be taking a look. It looks somewhere around anywhere between 62.40, and even higher up to 63. Next, we'll see. Just watching it. Sometimes it's better. I don't trade oil personally. It's really good to train your brain to be able to see setups and then review them and see how they developed. This helps your subconscious develop so that when you're watching setups occur in real time, that you're able to distinguish which are the ones that have a higher probability of working out. That's why we do this exercise, and it's exercise every day for the brain of following the flow of the market. I want to take a look at a pair right now, the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. We don't normally focus on, but the reason I want to take a look at it, because it looks like perhaps a potential bottom is actually being put into place. Let's take a deeper look at it. You could see these really long trend lines. Price was this was resistance, 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 all the way down. Finally, price broke above it, was rejected by this outer resistance. Came back down, made a lower low over here. Took out a bunch of stops over here. Really healthy for a trend change, for a long-term trend change. And since then, price has come up, not only tested and broke out of this outer resistance, but then now has come back and testing it. If price is able to go ahead and start making higher highs over here and get above this blue box, this outer resistance up here, it looks like you might have potential to see it take a look all the way back up here and then further. This looks like a bottom might be putting in on the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. I'm going to be watching it, see what happens. There's a lot developing in the markets, but now's the time. Take a step back. Now's the time to just have that deeper perspective. We're going to next Friday we'll get together. We'll follow the flow of the market. We'll make sure that we're ready. We'll keep slowly getting back into it, not trading, but watching the market, so that come the new year, January 6th, Monday, and we start trading again, that we're ripe and ready. Listen, I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead. I really hope that you just have that mindset to take a step back. Enjoy that time with your family and friends. Work on yourself. Work on your attitude. Exercise, eat right. All these things are crucial for successful trading. Little steps, habits developed by little steps. Start with something small. Go for a walk 15, 20 minutes a day for a week, right? See how that changes your attitude. It's really important. It's going to help your trading. Read a book, right? Focus in on positivity, on yourself. That's it, everyone. Have a great week. I will talk to you soon.